Screw the crowd noise. We are going out there with a classic Lego Rocks 99 commentary style video because we have ourselves a blockbuster, folks. Yeah! Screw Netflix, screw streaming, screw Disney Plus, screw on-demand video rentals, baby, because this is a blockbuster. As tweeted out just minutes ago, the Ottawa-Buffalo deal looks like this. Josh Norris and Jacob Bernard-Docker for Dylan Cozens, Gilbert, and a second in 2026. Big one. Sens won this so easily, man. NYR Louie goes out there and says, and then some of the replies go out there and say this. Are you on crack? Cozens is awful. Cozens is not good. Have you seen Cozens play? I can tell you've never watched a Sabres game. Cozens is a good person, but he's more likely to be Mittelstadt than Eichel or Reinhart. You see Cozens play? Easily, this can literally go any way for the winner. Dylan Cozens, via the JFresh analytical charts, is a 39 percentile wins above replacement player. Josh Norris is a 77 percentile. You know what? This trade, this tweet, Elliot Friedman, I love you, buddy, but without the hashtags, it doesn't look as nice. Let's go out there and look at Sarah Bailey's tweet. This was from an hour ago, so we had this idea, this trade idea floating around in our subconscious for that time frame, but we now have the actual details assorted nicely here from Frank Saravalli. There's a plane outside, so I'm not going to edit that out because it's a really busy day, folks. Let's take a look at this trade here. So the Sabres are getting Josh Norris and Jacob Bernard-Docker. The Sens are getting Cozens, Gilbert, and a second-round pick. This is a hockey trade, folks. Maybe not in a traditional one-for-one sense, but in a two-players-for-two-players kind of deal. And then, of course, there also is a draft pick on top of that. So let's dive into each of these players. Firstly, starting with Josh Norris, heading over to the Buffalo Sabres, baby. Norris is 25 years old, 6'1", 198, center, left-handed guy, signed on for the long term. He's making $7.9 million a year till the end of 2030, and the problem with Josh Norris is that for a good chunk of his career, he just could not stay healthy. When he's healthy, he's solid. I mean, he had a 55-point in 66-game season in 2021-2022. And in that year, he had 35 goals. It's a really good mark for a guy who, in that time frame, was only 22 years old. The next season, though, he only played 8 games, and that was always going to be a hindrance for Josh Norris and his career, his health status, whether or not he'd be able to get back up to 50-point, 30-goal form. The year after, 30 points, 50 games played. This season, he's got 33 points in 53 games played in Ottawa, 20 goals on the season, 2 on pace for 28. He hasn't played a full 82-game season yet, and that, I think, is always going to be a concern for Norris, but when he is on, he is on. He can kind of do everything that you need him to do. He scores points, he scores goals, he's got a shot, he can win faceoffs, but ultimately Josh Norris is more of a versatile point producer that the Buffalo Sabres believe in just a little bit more than the guy that they have fostered and developed from the beginning in Dylan Cozens. But we also have to talk about that Jacob Bernard-Docker, who is heading over to the Buffalo Sabres as well. If you take a look at his profile here, sorry, I should have had it up, but Jacob Bernard-Docker, JBD, is coming over here as a 24-year-old defenseman, right-handed guy, 6 feet, 190. I remember when he was drafted in the first round in 2018, and after he made his debut with the North Dakota Fighting Sioux, while he wasn't a super high point producer a la a Jake Sanderson, for example, Bernard-Docker had a lot of qualities that folks were going out there and projecting as NHL quality. I'm kind of surprised that he doesn't have a scouting report here on Elite Prospects. I would have sworn that he had one back in the 2018 timeframe, but he found himself in the NHL and the AHL, never spending a significant time right away in the National Hockey League. He had a 72-game campaign with the Senators last season, 14 points, so that was kind of his first full season's taste of NHL action. But this season, he had 4 points in 25 games played, on pace for 46 points, so he was held back a little bit. And ultimately, Jacob Bernard-Docker has not played an NHL game since December 28th. So that kind of shows you where his development has gone the past little while. I think a lot of folks were really expecting JBD to become some sort of a mobile top 4 caliber defenseman who can move the puck up really well and just move his feet, but he hasn't been able to take that next step with the Ottawa Senators. So I guess the Buffalo Sabres are saying to themselves, hey, we've got a whole bunch of other young D-men already. Power, Dahlin, Byram, Samuelson's locked up. Let's get another one in Jacob Bernard-Docker, a guy whom a lot of Sens fans were super excited to see over the past few years. They're getting him alongside of that Josh Norris, so that's a pretty good pickup here for the Buffalo Sabres. And of course, the main prize going over to Ottawa, let's skip the second round pick for now, and we can skip Dennis Gilbert for now as well. It is Dylan Cozens, baby. Cozens is heading over to the Sens. The workhorse from Whitehorse is coming to Canada and to Ottawa. I'm thinking about this like, hey, Dylan Cozens playing alongside of Brady Tkachuk, that's kind of going to be a nightmare for the rest of these Atlantic Division teams. I mean, just imagine how much of a Bash Bros kind of duo these two guys can form. Dylan Cozens is 24 years old, 6'3", 194, right-handed center right wing, making $7.1 million a year till the end of 2030. So similar to that Josh Norris contract, except just a little bit cheaper. Cozens this season has 31 points in 61 games played, on pace for 42 points in 82 games played. His career high was 68 points in 81 games a few seasons ago, but based off of the replies, I mean, you're talking about it here, a lot of folks are not believing in Dylan Cozens to the same magnitude that they did all those seasons ago in the past. Cozens was better in his former NHL days, but between the Buffalo Sabres falling off a cliff last season, between a whole bunch of other guys producing less compared to before, Dylan Cozens has not been one of the better parts of this Buffalo Sabres team. He has been a part of that shrapnel in that crossfire of Buffalo doing poorly. So Cozens, you could say he needed to change the scenery. There were a whole bunch of teams involved in him. A guy who can forecheck hard when he's playing his best. He is the workhorse from Whitehorse. He has a really strong work ethic. And when he's at his best, he can score points, he can make plays, he can do really good things. But of course, at 24 years old, you would hope that he's got a little bit of an extra gear in his game. It's just, I guess a lot of Buffalo fans are really pessimistic that that is going to manifest and take place. So he's now going over to Ottawa. I really like that addition of Cozens to play alongside of Brady Tkachuk. Let's also talk about the other guy here in the trade, just to fill things out and to get everything stabilized. So Dennis Gilbert, not Gilbert, I was kind of saying Gilbert there, 28 years old, 6'2", 216, left-handed defenseman, signed on till the end of this season, making $825,000. He had 25 games with the Buffalo Sabres this year, 5 points. Not really significant there. Extra depth throw-in add for the Ottawa Senators in this trade. So that's kind of how everything looks, man. Josh Norris and JBD over to the Buffalo Sabres in exchange for Dylan Cozens, Dennis Gilbert, and a 2026 second-round pick. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this blockbuster of a deal. What do you think about this, man? For the Sabres' point of view, for the Sens' point of view, who won this trade? Who is looking worse? What are your thoughts on Dylan Cozens and Norris swapping center positions on these teams? Let me know in the comment section. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.